Hi, hello, welcome. Hope you're all having a wonderful Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever day it is for you. I don't know where you are or when you're watching this, but I hope you're having a good one. We're continuing on our work today with the Elvish Mercenaries. So, last time, boop. Come on, there we go, boop. Last time, I asked chat which one we want to work on next. You selected the Scout here. And we are going to paint him up. So, last time also, just because we kind of started on this sort of like trend of seasonal colors. We kind of did this one in an autumn scheme because you got the red and the orange and the brown. It kind of just gives that vibe of fall. So we're going to do the same thing over here. And I decided on this one, since he's kind of got like a wolf thing going on here. He's got like a wolf crest on the back of his shield. And he's got like a wolf thing on his shoulder here. I think we're gonna go with a winter theme. I actually found a color palette that I'm gonna go with here. So I just looked for winter palettes, and this is what I found. Oh, here we go. There it is. There's it's sort of a, like, a dark green and dark brown with a little bit of a cream color thrown in there. And I have all those colors, so that's what I'm gonna go with here. That's the kind of color scheme I think we're gonna go with here. Because he's a scout, he's not going to be wearing bright, like, red and white. He's not going to look like Santa Claus. We're going to skip this one, because this is a Christmas song. There we go. All right. But first things first, we're going to paint the skin. He's got very little skin. He just has his face here, and then most of that's covered. So we'll go ahead and knock that out. Just our standard skin formula, starting with Barbarian Brawn. Congratulations on your watch streak. Okay. There you go. Just keep it going. Keep it going and going and going and going and going. Now, next we're using Dwarven skin. Before this I mixed a little bit of that Dwarven skin with the Barbarian Brawn. And since this is such a small amount of skin, I'm just like, I can knock this up very quickly. This guy's gonna have more green on him than anything else. I'm thinking about greens to use. I was just looking at my paints. I had out a set of greens that I thought I was going to use, and I've changed my mind. But I know what I'm going to do. I figured it out. Now we're mixing a little bit of the elven skin with dwarven skin just to get on the highlighted spots. Mostly just around the like the forehead and near the eyes. I'm not being super careful with this because we're just going to be painting the eyes on, and then the eyebrows and the hair as well. This is just the straight up elven skin. Forest orchard green. I don't know exactly what color that was. I have a forest green. That's the color I'm probably going to use. I was just debating what the third color was going to be. And since the cloak is the next biggest thing and it's around there, I'm probably going to do it. Next, we're going to start with wyvern green. Going to be our baseline for the cloak. Warg. Hi, Robbie. Thank you for chocoboing me. No, it's perfectly acceptable. You make those chocobo noises. Or any noise that you want, for that matter. Did everybody hear it? Sometimes those sound alerts are kind of fiddly. Hello over on YouTube. Your name is a bunch of letters and numbers, so I will just say to you, it really is your preference. Clean color cloaks or dirtying them up, it depends on the story that you want to tell with the figure. Regardless of what story you want to tell first, you want to paint them completely clean, of course. You're going to just, after you finish doing the clean cloaks, you can decide whether or not you want to dirty them up. Because you can always add dirt, you can never take it away. Me personally, for all these, I've been just doing clean, nice, like, clean cloaks. Just because, this is for a board game, so, I haven't been doing too much weathering on them, because I don't want to do anything that might chip off or get, like, broken by, like, you know, somebody handling the model frequently, or mini frequently, and, or it being in, like, storage or something and, like, you know, getting jostled around. But all that's a little personal preference, I think. Me personally, I do think some people take weathering a little bit too far. I see some minis on Instagram that are very weathered, and I'm just like, okay, you can chill out just a little bit. Yeah, I understand what you mean, Klaus. Especially if you're a person who, like, doesn't have a whole lot of money to spend on minis or models, and you just see somebody on Instagram just burning a hole into a mini. You're just like, why? I get it. I get that. But I think it does achieve a cool effect, though. I've seen the guy, I think it's El Miniaturista who does it. He'll like use like a hot screwdriver and like bore a hole into it and make it look like battle damage. It's pretty cool. It's a very cool effect. But at the same time, I'm just kind of like, it's kind of like, there's an account that I follow on Instagram. It's not mini painting. It's called, her name is, I think it's called Val Binds. She's a bookbinder. And she starts every single one of her videos off the same way. She holds up the book that she's about to bind, and it's usually a completely, like, whole book. And she just tears off the cover. And then she goes through the whole process of rebinding the book with a new cover. But every single time it hurts me. It's just like, ah! She tore that book up. And I know she's about to rebind it and make it look awesome. But, you know. Still part of me is just like, ah! That poor book. But that's because I'm crazy, you see. And I assign feelings to inanimate objects. Yeah, sometimes it can be a little hard with like storage, depending on what you're storing them in. If you're storing them in the original box, I definitely don't say, try not to do too anything super fancy with it that you can't easily like fix and touch up, because it will come off in the original box. If you got a nice foam like storage solution like I do, then you could probably add a little bit of extra detail, but that's the reason why I don't do anything fancy with the basing for these guys. I just do a basic like texture paint, because I know that it doesn't matter what I store it in, it's going to like it's gonna get chipped and come off if it's got like freestanding parts like shrubs or whatever. And I don't have any like those neat little stone tiles that some people use with HeroQuest. I just haven't gotten any, and I started this before I would have even considered doing that. But yeah, I think it is human to like ascribe feelings to objects somewhat. I also think it's because Toy Story taught me that toys were alive, you know, that they have thoughts and feelings. So you can blame Cowboy Woody and Buzz Lightyear. Every time my my 3-year-old like tosses his toys around and like, you know, throws them on the ground, and just like, I'm just like, that's not very nice. It's just like, but it's just a toy. He's not gonna hurt it. It's just a toy. But I'm just like, that's not very nice. It's a toy, and I have to think to myself, like, he's 3. He doesn't quite get it yet. Trying to think. Okay. I think we'll use it a little bit. Do I have it? I thought I had it on my table. I think I do. I just don't see it. I did. Okay. I just wasn't looking hard enough. We're going to use some Trooper White. We're going to mix it in with the green here. to lighten it up, to create our highlights. This is sort of an off-white. It's not just a white. Yeah, this is the color that I wanted. It's kind of a minty green, if you will. Ouch. That doesn't sound fun at all, Klaus. I think I thinned it just a little too much. I think it's a pretty normal thing to do when you're trying not to like overdo it on the paint colors. Okay. Just hitting a couple of spots where I think need highlights. Maybe we're gonna go with another layer of this just because it was still very thin. So I'm seeing a lot of like streaking. Okay, I think we're good though on the cloak. Yeah, I can only imagine, Klaus. Mine would be too. Alright, let's go ahead and get the, we're gonna do his hair. I think I'm just gonna do brown hair. And so it sort of seems to fit this kind of aesthetic. I'm also going to use the brown as my shadow color for the pants, which are going to be sort of a yeah, well, actually, no, we'll do that for the gambeson. The gambeson will be brown. He's wearing a gambeson, which, if you don't know what a gambeson is, a gambeson is the padding that knights wore underneath their chainmail. Because you didn't want to wear that just underneath a shirt or God forbid on your bare skin. So they wore these cool padded pieces of pieces of armor. I say armor in a loose sense. It was a thick fabric. And it was like a layered fabric on top of their underclothes, which is called a gambeson. Hey, buddy. You It is perfectly fine. I know what day it is. You enjoy your evening. Well, thanks for coming in to pop in and say hello, at least. Always appreciate it. I do love this pose. It makes it a little devilishly hard to paint in some places. I've decided I wanted to do more things in brown. I don't know if that's become apparent. Because you got gloves on and... This scout is Winter. Alright, Phoenix. Thanks for popping in. Yeah, glad you like the mini so far, and thanks for night. The alphabet soup is gone, so that's good. Yeah, I think the earthy tones are good for the scout, and I think that the like I say, it's winter, so. But I have a plan. Yeah. I mean, you don't really want crazy loud colors when you're a scout, I don't think. You know? You're supposed to be scouting. Anonymous just gifted 5 subs. Well, thank you, Anonymous, for the 5 subs. We are running a deal right now, 70% off, or 30% off. 30% off, 5 subs or more. So, yeah, I run in a promo because I have promo hours, so I was like, why the heck not? Thank you, Anonymous, for the 5 subs. Appreciate you, appreciate the support. Whoever you happen to be. And congratulations to the folks who got it. Alrighty, so next. Ancient Forest. I do. I'm gonna add more. I need to make more. I have plans for more emotes, for future emotes that I need to work on. Mostly it just has to do with, like, I had an artist do my other ones. The previous ones went for my old branding, I guess you'd call it. When I called the channel Felix Sunblade. That was my Final Fantasy character's name. I had this idea that I was gonna stream Final Fantasy 14, but nobody watched whenever I streamed Final Fantasy 14. So I just decided, you know what, I'll just do other things. So. And then when I came back to streaming, I decided, hey, you know what, I'll just paint. It'll help me get through my painting. Which it has, honestly. I would not have painted as much if I hadn't committed to streaming on Mondays and Thursdays. I would not have had as much painted. and mix the ancient forest with the... Why are we doing Christmas, Bardcore? A moment. There we go. Well, I do have the sub badge up. So if you look at Robbie's name in the Twitch chat, that is the sub badge that I made, that little blue hat. So if you are subscribed to the channel and you keep your sub streak up, you get progressively more and more cool looking sub badges. Ah! Koopo Koopo! That's for Koopo. I'm Koopo for Koopo nuts. Whew, it's very warm. It got very hot today, and I'm wearing this wizard hat. And this hat doesn't really breathe. So, I'm getting a little warm wearing it. It may come off. It is. It is DMX's party alley. Okay. Do some more cleaning before you can fully relax. I understand. What complements electric powder blue? Like color-wise? Trying to think. Because it just does. I like it. Yeah, another pastel color would probably, if it's a bright blue, you could always go with sort of an ice yellow. That would complement it. Like a very bright yellow. Or you can go completely opposite direction. A very black, a very dark color, like a black, or a because that would make it like. Klaus says leaf green. Yeah, I can see that too. Definitely. So yeah, either one of those could probably work. Hey, don't mention it. Thinking sleeve. There's no texture to it. I was just looking at it like, it's like I feel like this sleeve needs to be colored. It's not green. It's just part of the canvas, it looks like. All right, Klaus. Have a good day at work. Umber. Maybe. Umber's like a dark orange, almost like a brownish orange, if I'm recalling correctly. That could work. Could work. All right, next up, we're gonna do the cream color on the sleeves, and we're gonna do the khaki on the pant legs. Actually, I don't know. I'm considering. I'm gonna think about something. No, yeah, I definitely think I want to go for the khaki on the pant legs there. But we're gonna use Dust Bowl as base for both of them. Why are we doing Christmas tonight, Bardcore? Put on a shuffle. I should just give me Christmas for some reason. That's supposed to be the boot. I just painted over the boot with khaki. Ugh. Okay, now for the sleeves, I'm gonna do an ivory tusk. You need to go away. I was talking to my paintbrush that I had hanging out there for some reason. I need to get my head in the game here. I should have mixed those two colors together first. I'm just not thinking right now, guys. I don't know what it is. My brain's just not in it right now. Very stupid mistakes. Just got to start over on this other arm. I think it's the heat. Gotta take out the hat, guys. The hat has come off. Sorry. It's too hot. Now I'm mixing a little bit of the ivory tusk with the trooper white that I had on my palette earlier. This will be our last highlight. Okay. I'm sorry, I had to take it off. It's way too freaking hot in here. If I would have kept it on, I think I probably would have like sweat out more moisture than I could have possibly taken in. Alright, we're adding a little bit of Dragon Fang to our Dust Bowl to create our first transitional highlight for the pants. And doing this instead of the way that I usually do, like bone and stuff like that. Because I don't want these to be all the way like bone color. I want them to keep this sort of a dark khaki kind of appearance. I don't want them to get bone colored. Next up, we're gonna throw some Skeleton Legion on here. I'm not gonna blend these two because they're kind of like it's kind of like a direct step up. If I blended them, it wouldn't really make that big of a difference. Okay. That's gonna be all the khaki. Now we'll do the fur. I think I had decided in my mind that I was going to do the fur white, but I've changed my mind. And the reason is that I just think that white would stand out way too much on this guy. He's already got the cream like on his sleeves, and just looking at that, that's like, well, bam, there I am. So I think we're going to do the fur in gray, because wolves have gray fur anyway. And I think that makes a lot of sense. So we're going to use first black mixed with wizard gray. Wizard gray there. And then we'll build up from there. But we're not gonna, they're already black, but you know, this is gonna be an off black. Got some fur here on the this shoulder beneath this decorative wolf head, which is like a metal. At least that's what it looks like to me. And some fur underneath this shoulder pad. And there's fur around the boots. don't think there's any fur on the gloves, just looking at them. Looks like they all just have that like banding on them, which I'm gonna do silver for that. Okay, so then we're just gonna add, we're gonna do straight up Wizard's Gray here. Be our next thing on the fur. We're gonna try to
sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell thee, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday, made to feel the way that every child should. Sit and listen, went to school and I was very nervous. No one knew me. Hello teacher, prithee, what's my lesson? Look right through me. Yet I find it rather funny, I find it rather sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had.
right. Next is going to be Ash Gray. Yeah, I could see you playing a character like this, Alec.
It's a very, very mad world.
Thank you for subscribing.
Alright, next up is just going to be straight up Ash Gray. Let's give it a final highlight. Alrighty, so we got the gray on there. I don't know what accent that was, but don't worry about it. It's because I have the colors here right now. I'm just going to paint the handle gray too of his sword. Okay. Now I suppose we do the eyes. That means it's sexy gog time. Boing, 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 boing. Oh, I agree. I think all these models are minis rather, I should say, are very scenic. They've got really cool dynamic poses. Now I'm going to do something on this one again that I did on the last one that I don't usually do, because I try not to flood out the eyes. Yeah, you like the sexy dogs feelings? But I'm going to add a little bit of flesh shade here to the eyes, because the skin kind of, the base tone kind of like flooded the skin just a little bit. And these figures have very shallow details, so. And I blew out some of those details on the face, so I need to darken them up. Because to paraphrase Bob Ross, without the dark, you can't have the light. Same way in life. All right, next we're doing Brigade Gray. And lastly, we're just gonna add a little bit of this Trooper White. Somehow that paint got a little waterier, more watery than the other ones. Love it when that happens. Go ahead and do our pupils. This is that same off black that we did earlier. I need a little bit more black though. And there we go. And it doesn't look derpy, which is nice. Just gonna do a little bit of neatening up here on this eye. couple of places where I need to add a touch of green. Not too much. I'm trying to... Sometimes when you put on the sexy goggles, you see things that you didn't see before. Ah! Buh. Okay. Next, we just need to do the silver. Because I think all the metallics are going to be silver, and they're going to be sort of a dull silver. Because when you're wandering and scouting in the woods, you don't really want to draw too much attention to yourself. Very nearly done with the silver. I'm gonna skip this. We heard one teenage dream. I don't need to hear another one.
Whither have the worthy gone? Oh, where is fair Gawain? Where is gallant Galahad to take the bridal rein?
Is there not a white knight upon a fiery steed? Late at night I toss and turn and I dream of what I need.
I need a hero. I shall hold out for a hero till the end of the night. I pray he be hale, winged of heel, and newly returned from the fight.
I need a hero. I shall hold out for a hero till the morning light. He must be assured, ere true to his word, with a wit that will thrill and excite, thrill and excite. Ere long at the witching hour within my reverie, somewhere just beyond the veil, someone reacheth out for me.
Racing on a courser and clad in gleaming mail, I shall answer none but he who bringeth me the grail.
I need a hero. I shall hold out for a hero till the end of the night. Could I but afford my very own sword, I would not require his might.
I need a hero. I shall hold out for a hero till the morning light. By God was he blessed, ever true to his quest, a man of whom Chaucer will write.
Up where the dragons glide, their heaven above, out on a storm-tossed Odyssey, verily doth a saintly champion ride toward me.
Through the wind and the chill and the rain, the plague and the flood, I can feel his approach like a fire in my blood.
I need a hero. I shall hold out for a hero till the end of the night. I pray he be hale, winged of heel, and newly returned from the fight. I need a hero. I shall hold
There's
out
a little
for
bit of
hero
gray
till
or
the
something they
morning
got on there. I
light.
don't know what it was.
A knight's not a
They got on
pawn, a true paragon, with armor and eyes shining bright. I need a hero.
All right. Next, we need to shade our metal. I'm just gonna let that dry for just a second. And we'll add our quick, just a few highlights on the metal to make it a little shiny, just a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna add a little bit of Agrax Earthshade to a few specific places. Just because I think towards the face here it needs to be darker. I'm going to add it in the corners. A little bit of a spot shade. I think it's just a lot of the shadow got blown out when I was going through and painting it, and I didn't do a good job of keeping it. That's my fault, honestly. Okay, let him dry just a little bit. Whew. This will be a quick one, so that because we didn't use a ton of colors, and he's kind of a small model, and I didn't really have any like thing to experiment with like I did on the other guy. So after we finish this guy, we'll do a quick vote as to who we're gonna paint next time, and we'll do that next time. Just neatening it up in a couple of places that I've noticed. You need a neatening. Okay. Looks dry. We're gonna use Surcoat Silver, like usual, as our silver highlight. Why did I say that like it was a question? Alrighty. So we're gonna call that one done. So we have done the scout. And the glaive. So we've got the scout and the glaive done. Those are our 2 elven mercenaries that we have so far completed. We have 2 more left to do. The striker and the arbalist. So next time it's going to be one of those 2. It's either going to be striker or arbalist. Striker or arbalist. So we will pick. We'll pick next time because I think most folks have kind of checked out. Looks like. But thanks to everybody who came in. Thanks to the anonymous subs. Really appreciate all that. Phoenix votes for arbalist. All right, that's 1 vote for arbalist. Which one do you want? Which one do you want, Alec? We got 1 for arbalist. Which one do you want, Alec? You can change your vote next time. If you want. But arbalist. That's 2 for arbalist. You know what? We'll just do the arbalist next time. So next time, it'll be the arbalist. Which, I don't know, it's giving spring to me. So we've got fall, winter, and this one will be spring. I'll find a good spring palette that doesn't look too crazy and loud, which is going to be difficult, but yeah. Thanks so much for hanging out. I'm sorry that I had to take off my wizard hat. I'm sorry I had to take off the wizard hat. It's just too hot. It's just too hot in here, and this is going to be something that happens during the summer, I think, is that there might be hatless streams, and I'm either going to have to find a wizard hat that breathes a little more, or I'm gonna have to, like, you know, just do the stream without the hat. One or the other. But yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm checked out. I'm also kind of hungry because I didn't really eat that much today, so I kind of need to go and get something to eat as well. But thanks so much for hanging out. It's been a good stream. I've had fun. I'm sure you guys had fun. And I will see you guys on Thursday. But also, before I go, I want to remind everyone, on Wednesday, Warhammer is doing their big preview at Adepticon. So I'm going to do a little bit of watch-along stream with that, because there's a chance they may reveal 11th edition, but I know they're gonna at least reveal some really cool models, which will be what I'm more excited about. It is at 9 p.m. Eastern time, so it's right around the time I usually stream, just a little bit later. It's on Wednesday, so we'll just hang out and talk about it as it comes on. I'll probably go on a little bit before it starts, and we'll watch it together, and I can tell you how disappointed I am in the reveals. But we'll see. They may not reveal 11th edition at Adepticon, though. It's not unheard of that they might do it. So, yeah, we'll do a little watch along. We'll hang out. And, yeah. Anyway. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I will see you on Wednesday if you want to come hang out with that, and if not, I'll see you on Thursday at our regular streaming time. Bye-bye.